Hi, Jason. I'm going to go over the problem that you sent me that you had questions about. You got to the numbers. It looks like you got to the numbers all right, but you kind of did it in a unorthodox um, method, and I think you actually ended up doing a little more work than you needed to do on it. So I'm going to go through it and I'll make some comments as we go. So this problem asks us to compare variable costing to absorption costing. And so the first thing we have is the sale. I'm going to do the variable first. The sales is 1900 times 60 units is 114,000. Okay, then we do the variable costs, and um, this is the first place where you make it a little bit harder on yourself than you have to. In the variable costs, we have the variable factory overhead of 20, but we also have the variable marketing cost, and so that's $2. So we can just add those together and get the 22 times the 1900, and oh, something was off there. Is 41,800. And if we subtract those, we get a number known as gross profit. And gross profit is a unique term to variable costing. So we end up with gross profit of 72,200. Then we take off the fixed costs, and that's just the 10,000 fixed selling administrative and the fixed factory overhead. So that's 35,000. And that'll give us our operating income of 37,200, which is what you got, right? You got there the same way. It's just I think this is a little bit easier. Now, if we go over to the absorption costing, sales are sales. Nothing changes on that. So that's going to be 114,000. So that stays the same. But now we have to go into the cost of goods sold. In order to do cost of goods sold, we're going to come down here and we're going to, and you did this. Again, it's the $20 variable times 19 or times 2,000 units. Is 40,000. And then we have the fixed cost, fixed factory overhead of 25,000 is a total of 65,000. And we divide that by the 25 units or 2,000 units. And we get 32.50 per unit. Okay, so now we take this 32.50 per unit and we multiply times the number sold, which is 1900, and that gives us 61,750. Gives us 52,250. Then we get to our selling and administrative costs, and we have the variable of $2 a piece times 1900. Again, these numbers are going to look the same as what you did. So that's 3,800, just a little bit different way of getting there. And then we have the fixed selling and administrative, of 10,000. And so we end up with 13,800. Gives us 38,450 in operating income. And again, that's exactly the number you got. So you got there the correct way. The difference is we're organizing this by category as either fixed or variable. We're organizing this by function, right? Is the manufacturing and the selling administrative function. So it's just how you organize it, and then what you do with the cost. And then it asks us why is there a difference between 38,450 and 37,200, and that's 12,000 or 1,250, and that comes from the fact that you've got 25,000 divided by 2,000 is 1,250 per unit times 100 units that you didn't sell. And so you've got 1,250. And that under variable costing goes here in this fixed cost, that 12,250. But here under absorption costing, that goes into ending inventory. Okay. All right. So now year 2, 2022, we have the same basic thing, except we have our sales is, so we come down here to 2022. Our sales under the variable is 2,100 times 60, and that's going to be 126,000, as you point out. And then we have our variable cost is 22 times 2,100. Is 46,200. Is 79,800 is our gross profit. Our contribution margin. Then we subtract again our fixed costs, which is going to be the 35,000. That doesn't change because all our costs stayed the same. And so that's going to be 44,800 on that. On the absorption costing, so we're going to start off with the sales. And again, sales are sales, 126,000. We got the same input, so our cost of goods sold will be 2,100 times 3250. $68,250. Leaves us with 57,750. Our fixed costs now are 10,000, and we've got the variable cost of 38. We've got 2 times 2,100 would be 4,200. Excuse me on that one. 4,200, and then our other 10,000 there. The fixed cost would be 43,550. All right, now as far as the inventory goes, it really doesn't matter since your costs haven't changed between the two periods. We didn't tell you in this problem if there was going to be a LIFO, a FIFO, a weighted average inventory issue, which you would need to know if you were going to deal with the inventory. But what you have here, assuming the costs don't change from one period to the next, this points out if you increase your inventory, then your absorption costing will always generate more profit. If you decrease your inventory, your variable costing will give you profit. Why? Because you've got fixed costs that are either moving into inventory or coming out of inventory when you use absorption costing. So that's why it's that way. And I hope that answers your question. If not, give me a shout out and I'll see if I can do something different.